And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Calypso Lemonade 200, race number 13 of the debut season of the PCSRA Craftsman Truck Series. It's been weeks rather, since we last had our Truck Series race. That was back at Kentucky. So these trucks drivers are back. They'll also be back in action next week when they head to Sonoma, and then Busch and Winston Cup head off to Watkins Glen International. So we'll have back-to-back road course races, but we'll be on opposite sides of the country next week for these drivers. And after today, only 3 more races left to go to determine our playoff grid. Ingrid Pollard's on the pole position. She comes into this race in the 18th position in the points. Alongside of her is Olivia Jackson. Jackson, by the way, comes in this race that critical 20th position in the points. Parker Castle in row number 2, 34th in the points table. It's looking very unlikely if he gets a win. It would be very unlikely for him to get himself in the top 20 in points to have a win count for a playoff berth, but he'll try to get a win as best he can. And Lucy Granger is 30th in the standings. She also needs a good run. It's been a rough season for her. As you look at the rest of the lineup, and the points are as follows. Marcus Sellers is the points leader by 13 points over Billy Kitchens. J Bodine is third in the standings. J Bodine, by the way, won last time out at Kentucky. J Underhill is fourth. Harrison Jenkins is fifth. They are 36 and 38 points back. You should watch the field roll out onto the track. They're on the back straightaway. Sixth in the standings is Xavier Allsopp. Michael Brown is seventh. Alex Winters, Carlos Rodriguez, and Victoria Hughes complete the top 20. 11 laps of racing here today. 11 laps, for some of you are saying, that's too short of a race. This is a 7-turn road course where drafting is going to come into play, and we're going to have possibly cautions that may or may not dictate where this race is going to go. And of course, remember, next week we're going to have no cautions when we head to Sonoma. That's going to make things even more interesting. As here we go, getting set to go, road course racing from Papyrus, and we are green. As everyone took the green, so that's good news for me. Going through turn number 1, when we go to TV2, you'll find out why I call it the greatest camera angle. As looks like the 57 of Parker Castle is trying to make it 3 wide. This is one of my favorite camera angles on this track. As we're on TV2, watch this. You'll see all 36 trucks in this shot. How cool is that? Seeing all your superstars in one camera shot. As Olivia Jackson just took the lead as we're through 3 and 4, heading towards turn number 5. This is part of the track where we're going to see a lot of trouble spots through 5 and 6. As Olivia Jackson overdrove the turn just a little bit. Parker Castle got off the turn a little bit better as we're heading to turn number 7. And off turn number 7 and down the front straightaway, and that's how you complete a lap around the Papyrus Motorsports Park, which they completed that lap at minute 25. This is the only track where drafting is going to come into play on a road course. Don't think we're going to have that in the race at Sonoma next week. Check the back of the field. There's a lot of drivers back here at the rear of the field. A couple of them like J Underhill's back here. As Shohei Alinsky just got into the wall. There's Donovan Carter. There's our points leader, Marcus Sellers, in the 29. Not the run he is hoping for, or running right now. Last time I scored in the 29th position in points. And there's the guy who's trying to run him down for the points lead. That would be Billy Kitchens. Billy Kitchen's 38 points above the cut line. Michael Brown is 1 point above, and he's back here at the rear of the field, so that's not where he needs to be. J Ard, who comes into this race 12th in the points, she is a total of 31 points ahead of, yeah, I was right the first time. 31 points ahead of 20th in the standings. That's not good for her. And there's Shyla Askarov, 23rd in the points. She's only 5 points back of, or no, check that, 6 points back of 20th in the standings. Abigail Furling's a point back of 20th in the standings. There's Abigail. Morgan Lohr's back here. There's Alexandria Sarnes, who was in second. Look at the run these drivers are getting through these corners as we're back up to Olivia Jackson. And the Truck Series is the only series out of the three that we haven't had a repeat winner. So far, we've had 12 races, 12 different winners. And out of those 12 races, only 8 of them are inside the top 20. Because Aaron Hornish, Curtis Glover, they're 35th, 36th in the points. And it's looking very unlikely those two are going to make the playoffs, the 9018 truck. But I said this before and I'll say it again. Even if they're outside the top 20 in points and their win's not going to count with 3 races left to go, I think they're just going to try to get as many trips to victory lane as they possibly can. Because I know the chances of making the playoffs are pretty much out the window, as Olivia Jackson ran in 86.78, 80-minute lap times, which that's how fast these Truck Series drivers go. And I was expecting we could have had full course cautions in this race, but I'm seeing these Truck Series drivers are keeping it together. I don't have a good feeling that's going to be like that for the Busch and Winston Cup Series field. There's Shyla Askarov. There's Maisie Creighton. Oh, we got a crash. Well, forget what I said. The 62's in it. Abigail Furling's involved. Well, forget what I said, and Blake Wagner's smoking. Caution is out. J Ard might have got a piece of it. Well, forget what I was going to say. Talk about commentators curse, and there's Shohei Alinsky. Chas Farmer's involved. Oh boy, that got really ugly in a hurry now, didn't it? And that was definitely not what Olivia Jackson wanted to see. And here's the other part is going to suck, is that there's not going to be any lap cars, and we're already inside the 10 to go. So while the field tried to catch up to the pace truck, let's jump back, look at a replay to find out our first caution is we're at the midway point of the Clipsea Lemonade 200. Looks like Cody Goforth ran in the back of Chas Farmer, and looks like Goforth felt like Chas Farmer slowed down really too quickly, and nowhere for the Orleans Dodge to go. Billy Kitchens, good job missing that. Same with Cheyenne Berkshire. J Ard got in the 64, sent those two trucks around. I know the 52 got damaged. That was Ashton Ingersoll who spun. But how did the 52 get involved? Oh, he ran into the Orleans Dodge. Right there. That's a big blow for Abigail Furling. Came in this race 1 point behind 20th in the standings. But why was Blake Wagner blown up? Let's see. Oh, he blew up after he crossed the start-finish line. Right when he crosses the line, kablamo, the engine let go on the Jelly Beans Chevrolet. And that's why J Underhill got held up a bit. So a couple of drivers running well in points. This is not good for them. Blake Wagner came into this race, Blake Wagner's had a tough, let's see, where is he in points? He was 14th in points. That's not good. Boy, and he is a former winner. Uh-oh. Could Blake Wagner be out of the top 20 in points? That's going to be a bit disappointing for him. And let's see what this is going to do to the points heading into next week, as we're going to head back to the restart here at Papyrus. We're going to go back to green flag racing with 3 laps to go. That means next caution that comes out will end this race under the yellow. I bet you they took a long time to get the track cleaned up, but here's the top 10 right now. Olivia Jackson is the leader, Parker Castle second, Emma Keizer third, Alexandria Sarnes fourth with Lena Ritchie fifth, Carlos Rodriguez sixth, Luis Hernandez seventh, Morgan Lohr eighth, ninth, Xavier Allsopp and Ingrid Pollard in 10th. Let's go through the rest of the field. We have Anthony Ritchie 11th, Jared Johnson 12th, Lucy Granger 13th, Carolina Bradley 14th with Billy Kitchens 15th, 16th Cheyenne Berkshire, Aaron Horner 17th, 18th Harrison Jenkins, 19th is J Bodine, and Shyla Askeroff is 20th. 21st, Maisie Creighton, 22nd, Michael Brown, 23rd, Marcus Sellers, the points leader, Curtis Glover in 24th, Victoria Hughes, his teammate, in 25th, 26th, Sam Vickers, Alex Winters, 27th, Donovan Carter's 28th, 29th, Cody Goforth, J Ard is in 30th position. 6 drivers are now out of the race. Chaz Farmer, Ashton Ingersoll, J Underhill. Apparently, I think he ran in the back of somebody. I'm not entirely sure why he's out of the race. Abigail Furling is out. Shyla Alinsky is out. And Blake Wagner, who blew up just before that big wreck happened, as he is now out of the race. So we're going to have 30 drivers on the racetrack. 29 could have a chance to possibly win. J Ard badly torn up. Let's see. This is good news for Olivia Jackson because a lot of drivers ahead of her in points I just named off are out of the race. Blake Wagner was actually 17 points ahead of 20th in the standings. Here's the insult. Olivia Jackson's led the most laps today. Oh boy, Blake Wagner could be out of the top 20 in points heading into Sonoma next week. That's not good for him as we're back to green here at Papyrus. Good restart for Olivia Jackson. She is going to do everything she can. I think Olivia Jackson, with the bonus points she's led so far, she's led the most laps. She's already led a lap, so those bonus points could be critical. And she's been the lead since the start of the race, so she's led the entire race. And she'll be in the Lucas Oil colors next week when we head to Sonoma. She just runs a little bit wide. Making sure nobody causes any issues. Cody Goforth's got a lot of damage on the LSU. I think J Underhill ran the back of him, but that's because they slowed way down, and I don't think J Underhill realized that, so they're probably going to dismiss that as a racing deal. So Olivia Jackson, this is good news for a couple of reasons. One, a lot of drivers ahead of her in points have had troubles, like let's see, Blake Wagner was 17 points ahead of the cut line. He's going to fall out of the top 20 in points as we're down to 2 to go. J Ard, who got involved, came in this race 31 points ahead of 20th in the standings. She's running in 30th with no hood on her Hooters Ford F-Series. And Abigail Furling's going to be in a must-win situation the next 3 weeks because with where she finished. And this is also going to help Shyla Askeroff because with a lot of drivers ahead of her in points that have had troubles today, and Shyla's running in 24th, I don't think she'll pass Olivia Jackson in points because Olivia has been leading this race since the start. She just ran a little bit high there, and that's going to allow Morgan Lohr to lead. But don't look, here comes Emma Keizer. Morgan Lohr has not been to victory lane this season. As we're coming to the white flag, by the way. It's going to be a drag race between the 6 and the 13. Who's going to lead this lap? The problem is Morgan Lohr is going to be on the wrong side of the track. Looks like it's going to be the 6 as the white flag is out. One more lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. We'll race back to the checkers regardless what happens. And where's the 36 running? She's still in 22nd. We're going to have to see where this is going to situate her. Olivia Jackson trying to hold off the field to get her second win of the year, and more than likely build enough cushion that would keep her above 20th in the standings. She's been the dominant driver since the start of the race, believe it or not. She doesn't screw it up. She's clean through there. She's got to get a good exit off of this corner, or that 13 is going to be all of them. I hear wreck. We got a wreck. Big crash on the back straightaway, but it doesn't matter. We're racing back to the checkers anyway. Looks like Olivia Jackson got off that corner good. The yellow is out. It doesn't matter. We're racing back to the checkers regardless. I think Shyla Askarov might have been involved, but it won't matter. As off at turn number 7 for the final time, Olivia Jackson pull, win, and grand slam, and she's going to probably take this race win and hold up Alexandria Sarnes to win the Capsule Lemonade 200. And she was 20th in points, that critical 20th. She might have just saved her chances of winning a championship and might have just locked herself a spot in the playoffs for sure. Who did this collect? Anthony Ritchie, Cheyenne Berkshire, Carlos Rodriguez, Askarov 25th. Don't know if Maisie Creighton got a piece of it or not. But my goodness. Before we show you your official finisher results, let's jump back and look at a replay to find out what happened to Anthony Ritchie and those drivers. Here's what happened. Luis Hernandez is going to get into the guardrail right here coming off of this corner. And he's going to come down to Carlos Rodriguez and nowhere for third in points. Jamie Bodine to go right there. And there's the contact. Nothing that Jamie could have done to prevent this. Unfortunately, he's going to get a lot of damage. That's going to hurt him in the running order. Anthony Ritchie having a good run, got collected. Michael Brown got a piece of it. He was 1 point above the playoff cut line. That's not good. And, of course, this is what brought out the second and final yellow. There's where Shyla Askarov got a piece. Nearly collected Victoria Hughes. Donovan Carter got a piece of it. Cheyenne Berkshire. That's why. And Maisie Creighton somehow snuck through all that. But that's what brought out the caution, but it really didn't matter because the leaders already took the white flag, so they had to race it back to the line. So the yellow was out for the second and final time today. Let's get to your official finisher results here at Papyrus. Well, the pace truck is making an extra lap for some odd reason. I can tell you Olivia Jackson has made it to victory lane, her second win on the year. This will, and also she becomes our first repeat winner of the season because that ends a streak of 12 races, 12 different winners, the longest we've had so far this season. Alexandria Sarnes will come away with second. That's still a good result for Sarnes, who's been struggling in the points, 24th to be exact. Morgan Lohr will get third. Good run for Morgan Lohr. Olivia Jackson, by the way, led the most laps, won the race, got max points, so that's big for her. Jared Johnson will come home in fourth. He was 15th in the points. This will probably get him into the top 10 in points with a lot of drivers ahead of him in points that had troubles today. Emma Keizer will come away in fifth. Good run, as Captain Frank will be happy for Emma. Came in this race 19th in the points, so a nice run from her. Luis Hernandez will get sixth. He was 31st in points. Good run for him. Ingrid Pollard will finish in seventh. Pollard came into this race 18th in the points. She's going to leapfrog a lot of people who had troubles today. Parker Castle got eighth. Good run for Parker, driver who's been near the bottom of the points table, 34th to be exact. Good run for him. Melina Ritchie will get ninth. She's 27th in the points. Good run. And Curtis Glover, let me see what the gap was between him and 20th in the standings. It was 59 points. He got a 10th. I don't know where this is going to situate him, but it might be close. He might have cut that gap down as the pace truck lights just went out. And he's going to make his way to pit road, so being the 37th place finisher, even though it doesn't exist. Anyway, he comes away with 10th. Aaron Hornish 17th. I think that's going to probably be his championship hopes done. There is no way he's going to get in the top 20 in points. But, for Curtis Glover, 36 in points, a well-needed run for him. It's been a rough year. Top 15 was completed by Carolina Bradley, Harrison Jenkins, Lucy Granger, J Bodine, Billy Kitchen, second in points. And not too far behind Billy Kitchens, the driver he was trying to run down for the points lead, Marcus Sellers. So Sellers is going to keep the points lead, pending what happened to the 80, and actually, no, the 88 finished in 15th. So Sellers will still keep the points lead, though. I think the big winner is probably going to be Harrison Jenkins, but not by a lot. Looking down through the rest of the finishing results here. Shyla Askarov, we mentioned 25th. I think she's going to need a good run the next 3 races to make the top 20 in points. I can tell you that for sure. J Ard, 27. She was 12th in points. Came in this race in 31 points ahead of 20th in the standings, 27th. This is not good. That's going to hurt her. J Underhill was top 10 in the points. 4th in the standings. He's going to take a hit in the standings as far as I'm concerned. Abigail Furling, she's more than likely going to be in a must-win situation or need good results in the next 3 weeks if she's going to have any chances of making the playoffs. Other drivers that finished out of the race besides Carlos Rodriguez was Chaz Farmer, Ashton Ingersoll, Shyla Linsky, and Blake Wagner might have just kissed his chances of staying in the top 20 goodbye with a dead last place finish. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the 36 drivers did not reach the conclusion of today's race. But Olivia Jackson will celebrate in Victory Lane with her second win of the year. If you guys enjoyed today's Wreckfest from Papyrus, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the PCSRA crew today. We've shown your full finish results. Your point standings are down in the description heading into next week at Sonoma's. We can cap off this race weekend with Busch and Winston Cup from here at Papyrus. Then next week, all 3 series are at 2 different locations. Trucks are heading to Sonoma. Busch and Winston Cup will head to New York for Watkins Glen International Raceway. Should be a lot of fun for those 2 races. Until tomorrow, Ivan Dineville signing off. Goodbye from Papyrus, as you've been watching yet another broadcast of PCSRA TV, where champions are made since 2010 and 15 years as the best center racing around the world since 2017.